Go ahead and call meeting to order. Shelley, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. District 1, Councilman Rios.
Here.
District 2, Councilman Pastor.
Here.
District 3, Councilman Leatham.
Here.
District 4, Vice Mayor Stapleton.
Here.
District 5, Councilman Gonzalez.
Here.
District 6, Councilman Shipley.
Here.
Mayor Gameros.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Shelley. Fernando, can you leave us the invocation, please?
First of all, what we'd like to do is start with a moment of silence to honor one of our fallen employees. Ruben Duarte passed away, and so we'd like to give him a minute of silence, please. Thank you. With all the things going on in the world today, I think you'll know why I picked this scripture. It is from Matthew 25. It's called Judgment of Nations. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit upon his glorious throne, and all the nations will be assembled before him, and he will separate them one by one from another, as a shepherd separates sheep from the goats. He will place the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. A stranger, and welcomed me. Naked, and you clothed me. Ill, and you cared for me. In prison, and you visited me." Then the righteous will answer him and say, "Lord, when did you see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you ill or in prison and visit you?" And the king will say to them in reply, "Amen, I say to you, whatever you did for the ones least brothers of mine, you did for me." Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you accursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. A stranger, and you gave me no welcome. Naked, and you gave me no clothing. Ill, and in prison, and you did not care for me." Then they will answer and say, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or ill or in prison and not minister to your needs?" He will answer to them, "Amen, I say to you, what you did not do for the one of the least of ones, you did not do for me." If you think about what's going on in the world, please search your hearts so that we can care for all of God's children. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Freddie, can you lead us on the pledge?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with summary current events with the council. Mike down there, you got anything?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything at this time. Thank you.
Mike, do you have?
I have a couple things, Mayor, thank you. There's just some upcoming events. The first one is the Jason Sanchez Connect Day. That's August 8th from 9 to 3 at Lee Carnegie. And it's an event for low-income or homeless people to connect with vital resources that are available. There's going to be several organizations on site that'll help them out. And there's also, it's a free event, and there's also free food. And then second is just a reminder of First Friday is this Friday downtown. It's gonna be hot, but I hope a lot of people show up, so if you have time, come on by. That's all I have, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Mariano?
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to thank all of our city employees who were working in the month of July. Some of us went on vacation, but don't think we were keeping an eye on you guys out there. Some of you had to step up and take charge of the department or respond to a car wreck or a fire, or simply do repairs on our infrastructure, all in 100+ degree weather. So I want to thank you all for holding it together, and I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Fernando?
Couple things. So first of all, I'd like to recognize Thea and Regina for their work with Love Where You Live. They won the Governor's Tourism Award for, I forget what it was, for small town something or other, but it was excellent, and they won their award. It's a beautiful award. It got recognized throughout the entire state, so congratulations to them for all their hard work. They're the ones that did the Arizona and did all the art around the town. If you look at all the underpasses, they coordinated that and got people working together, and thank you to the city for helping that happen, making that happen. The other is I just want to recognize that Alfredo Gutierrez passed away today. And a lot of you may not know who he is, but he was from Miami, and he grew up during the Cesar Chavez farm worker stuff, and his family was involved with the union, so he got involved with organizing, and he got really involved in that movement. He went on to become a legislator. He actually was a leader of his party and ran for governor, but he was so connected, and he knew so many people that whenever we needed anything for Globe Miami area, we could pick up the phone, and he seemed to know somebody that could answer the phone and get us the help that we needed. And so just my heart goes out to his family and his friends and the people that cared about him as he passed away this morning. That's it.
Thank you, Fernando. Freddie?
Thank you, Mayor. I have one thing. Sometime back, I was elected or appointed the city council liaison for the Revolution Coppers Community Work Group. The meeting was held in Superior. The first couple meetings I missed. I had some obligations, and then one I just completely got the date wrong. But anyway, they're quarterly meetings, and they're stakeholders from within the region. Fernando's representing organization here out of Globe. There are representatives from Gold Canyon, as far as Gold Canyon, and obviously Superior, Top of the World. There's a golf course out there, Queen Valley. And so, they're people that are well-grounded and ingrained in their communities. And they want to be a part, and Revolution Copper does want them to be a part of the conversation about the mine and its potential employment base and things like that. So the takeaways from this meeting was that the mine anticipates the land swap, if you will, from the federal government to happen in August. I can't remember the date. I want to say it was the 19th, if that's still on schedule. So kind of just keep your ears and eyes peeled for that. But one thing that was discussed that was somewhat concerning to the group, and not only the group but the mine, is that not only are they looking forward to this major milestone of the land swap, they have learned that in part of the deal that they've made with the residents and the forestry and the government is that around, and I don't have this number exactly, but around 40 square mile area was designated for recreational use. And there's different types of recreation that they're going to build around the community and around the region. But the problem they have now is that in that 41 square mile region, there is a mining exploration company called Bronco Exploration. They have
they have a lot of claims in that area, mining claims. So that's a hurdle that Revolution Copper is going to have to overcome, is how are they going to either negotiate or purchase or somehow manage those land claims, have them stricken from the records as mining claims so that they can proceed with their development of recreational use. So for those of you that are interested in that, that's my message on this last meeting. And I'll do my best to make every quarter meeting and bring back a report to mayor and council and our community. So, thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. I have a couple of things. Thank you, Fernando, Councilman Shipley, for nominating the Arizona project that actually took it to that award, and they won it. Another one that's up for nomination is the Hill Street School Apartments, and they're up for the Rural Project of the Year under the Reader's Choice Award, national recognition. So the voting is going on right now. I think it goes on to August 14th. So hopefully they'll be they will be the winner of that award. This project has really sparked not only statewide interest, but nationwide interest on how it was performed, and because, again, for a rural community. Coffee with a Mayor has been canceled for for August. We'll be at the Arizona League of Cities. We'll continue that on the 17th of September, though. It's been a good turnout. We're going to continue to have those, and I thank Vice Mayor Stapleton to being present with me with every one of them. I think Councilman Pastor has gone to one of them. So, you know, we try and give as much information into those, and a lot of interested people come to them. Lastly, I want to read a letter from Douglas Reyes. He's a senior United States District Judge in Phoenix. And this is addressed to Mayor Gameros and members of the City Council. I am writing to express my heartfelt gratitude for the proclamation honoring my life. Coming from Globe, for me, this is one of the highest honors I could receive. I am truly overwhelmed. It is an honor that I will always cherish. I am sorry I was unable to attend the June 10th City Council meeting when the proclamation was formally announced. Regrettably, I was out of state for work commitments during that week. However, I'm grateful that my cousin Aaron Stone was there to express my gratitude. Globe holds deep significance for my family and me, as our roots are firmly planted in that community. The influence that Globe has had on us cannot be overstated. My judicial chambers in downtown Phoenix are adorned with picture of downtown Globe, Miami, and miners diligently working in the Old Dominion mine. I attribute whatever success I have achieved in my career to the values and experience I gained while growing up in Globe. This recognition is profoundly meaningful to me and my family, and I appreciate the council's effort in honoring our connection to this wonderful community. And again, this is from Douglas Reyes. He's a senior United States District Judge. That's all I have.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of
Oh,
council.
I'm sorry, we have Jesse online.
Oh,
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
so, Mr. Mayor, members of council, let me say, last week I attended the ACMA, either last week or week before, I can't remember. I think it was the week before. But Arizona City County Managers Association, it was in Tucson. Go and network and hear presentations with other city managers and municipal staff, county staff. County Manager Menlove was there too. And so learned a lot, and learned it's fun to see these presentations and hear about that we are doing things right, and that we have a solid council focused on bringing services to their residents, and that is your focus, and nothing else. So we want to thank you and compliment you for you, and it's fun as a city manager to be able to brag a little bit about their council. So thank you. What was going to say, and thank you for the reason this meeting is three weeks from the past meeting. That's why I'm screwed up, was because of these adjustments we had. And it is vacation time, but it has not slowed down around here. We have lots going on. So big shout out to all the city staff who make time so other city staff can bring and do their vacations, take their time off in the summer, be with their families, and so your staff works really hard to do the coverage so that everybody can take advantage of the summer and spending time while school's out and everything like that. So just shout out to all staff for helping each other. Mr. Mayor, members of council, that's all I have.
Thank you, Paul. We go to our first community call to the public. Do we have anybody online or on email? I have no cards up here.
Let me take a quick look. And I don't see anything of, yeah, no, nothing online, anything on the phone?
Nothing text,
Nothing on the
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So we'll go to special presentations, and I'll be reading a proclamation that's proclaiming July 31st, 2025, International Lifeguard Appreciation Day. So it's headed City of Globe. Whereas lifeguards play a vital role in ensuring the safety of individuals enjoying aquatic environments such as beaches, pools, and water parks. Whereas lifeguards are highly trained and certified professionals skilled in their rescue techniques, first aid, CPR, and AED use. Whereas lifeguards diligently maintain a watchful eye over swimmers, enforce safety rules, and respond swiftly and effectively to emergencies. Whereas lifeguards contribute significantly to the health and the well-being of our community by preventing drowning and water-related injuries. Whereas International Lifeguard Appreciation Day provides an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the dedication and professionalism of lifeguards. Now therefore, I, El Gameros, Mayor of City Globe, do hereby proclaim July 31st, 2025 as International Lifeguard Appreciation Day in Globe. Citizens are urged to show their appreciation to lifeguards by following safety rules and acknowledging their efforts to keep the aquatic spaces safe. So we'll present that and we'll get that.
I think we have a short presentation.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job.
I'd love for you to say if you were, like, sure about their savings. Yes.
Do we have a lot of lifeguards?
Yeah, we have here. Amy, shine on Mario.
Yeah, I didn't tell you had to have,
Thank you.
you didn't bring your speech with you?
This is leadership by surprise. This
Yes.
is what our city manager.
Yep, there we go.
So all three of my lifeguards are all returning lifeguards. We have one that had a save this year, early this year, and we also had a second one that had a save
Get
this
closer
year.
to the mic so they can hear it online. I'm
Which
sorry.
mic?
Right there.
Oh. So we had two saves already this year, one of them made by Hayden, and then another one made by Xander, who's not here at the moment. But these three lifeguards are all returning lifeguards from last year.
Very good.
And how many lifeguards do we have total that we actually brought on board?
We have 34 total. Wow. Yeah, and 28 were returning.
Wow, that's
So
pretty good.
they are happy and they keep returning, so that's a good thing for us.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, Kat, how many, on a given day, how many are on duty and what's your staffing?
So on Saturdays, we have anywhere from 16 to 18, which swap out. And then on our slower days, which are the other 7 days of the week, or the other 6 days of the week, we have 12.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, no,
In our busy days, do you know what the attendance is? Like, is it
So this Saturday, we had 300.
300?
Yes. Our back to school bash this Saturday, so it was a busy day where we had raffles, we had Gila Hogs out there, and then we had some games out there and stuff for everybody.
Great. Freddie?
I will say that, back in the days when we were talking about the aquatic center, what it would take to construct it, to build it, how would we maintenance it, how we manage it, we're talking probably 2 years ago. And one of the discussions was, the concern about lifeguards. Like, how are we gonna maintain a steady pool of lifeguards? And you and your colleagues and managers and the current manager and previous managers have done an excellent job keeping that pool of lifeguards active. And just, that was really a big concern for us. I can say that. Not that you can't do it, but could we get enough? And it looks like we're there. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, and just, there's a secondary benefit to having this lifeguard program. All of these young adults who are employed are getting real life experiences, resume builders, having to show up and take on these responsibilities and step up to new experiences. It's a great learning experience, going to help them along, and we hope someday to bring them on as full-time employees after you go out, get your education, and whatever you decide to do. If you want to come back and look for a job here, it's a great resume builder, and we'll look at you. So feel free to apply when you're ready.
Yep. Police and fire.
Yeah.
Public Works.
Public Works, yes. I'm sorry, I am so sorry.
What about me?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item is announcement of the Citizens Academy number 7, fall of 2025. And that is scheduled for September 17th through October 29th. And Shelley will be giving us all the information on it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council. I am pleased to stand before you and announce that we have scheduled our 7th class of the Citizens Academy, and this is our 2025 fall session. The classes will begin on September 17th, and they will be every Wednesday starting at 6 o'clock, and we like to wrap up about 8 o'clock with the exception of the police department, and they've already asked for an extra hour. So,
Uh-oh. Demonstrations.
and I did reach out to all council members, and you were happy to volunteer to host your departments, and we're still working on finalizing the application. We're gonna kind of refresh our classes this year. We're gonna put an emphasis on city and resident safety, so we'll all be following that theme, and Melissa has offered to do the marketing, and so you know that is going to be top notch, and we have our banner here tonight, just kind of giving you a preview of our colors and our theme, and anybody that is interested, we'll have the applications online. We'll have them in paper form here at City Hall. You can reach out to me. I'm usually at my desk, and I would be happy to get those to the public. So, any questions?
Go ahead, Fernando.
Is there like a minimum age? So we could have someone young that wants to.
You know, I don't think we have a minimum age
No,
requirement.
I think if they were to apply, I think we could make arrangements and do what we check with what our responsibilities are, but I don't see any holdup in that.
And Shelley, the Citizens Academy is open for folks from Gila County, town of Miami.
You know, we do extend that invitation to
Carlos.
surrounding
Good, thank you.
neighbors, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, just a quick overview. Citizens Academy is, so government is complicated. City government is complicated in how we get our marching orders and council manager form of government. We in reality have 9 separate departments that do 9 pretty different things. And no one understands exactly what each department's responsibilities and what is involved in providing citizen services through the city. So each night they get to spend 2 hours or more immersed in one of the departments, learning about what they do, how they're funded, what their responsibilities are, some of the unique things about that. And then we go through the different departments: fire, police, public works, finance, libraries. It's really a good chance, if you're ever curious about what we do at the city, this will let you meet the staff and learn about that. Plus, it builds a team of people who can better understand and explain understand why the city does what they do. And also it's a training ground for people who may want to get further involved in the city. A lot of our volunteers that are on the boards, committees, commissions, and even people who have applied after taking Citizens Academy. So it really is help spread that word, because that council's always said, we need to tell our story. Well, this is one way we tell our story.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Shelley. Please apply if you want to know more about your city.
And we apply by contacting Shelley.
So our next presentation, Police Chief Dale Walters will present and update the council on the Arizona Law Enforcement Accreditation Program on-site assessment. This esteemed recognition signifies the department's adherence to professional standards, best practices, and commitment to excellence in law enforcement. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. So on your screen is an announcement that's on our Facebook, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but I kind of wanted to go a little back in time to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it at the police department. In 2018, I was fortunate enough to be selected to take this position. One of the challenges that I recognized when I took the position was this body or your predecessors had commissioned a study for the police department because of the ongoing issues there through the Public Safety Strategies Group to do a top-down evaluation of the police department. And it came out with a report. It was a very well-done document, and it was 25, 30 pages long, and it outlined kind of a blueprint of what needed to happen. And that was in 2015, and I know that the word was that those things had been met, but they had not. There was one aspect of all the recommendations from this review that was completed prior to my taking the helm, and that was the transfer of the dispatch center from Glow PD to partner with Healy County Sheriff's Office for a joint dispatch, which was a smart move. But everything else had not been addressed. When I took over the department in 2018, it'll be 7 years and a month and a half, believe it or not. One of the commitments I made to you was for long-term solutions. If you get a person with my experience, they could come in and make positive change. I believe a lot of my peers across the state could do that, but how do you maintain that? And the solution to that for me was accreditation. I came from an agency that's been accredited since 1995, and what it forces you to do as a police department is it forces you to stay relevant. It forces you to review your policies every year. It forces you to meet compliance on the standards set forth by the accreditation group. Fortunately for us, Arizona Association of Chiefs of Police created ALEAP, which is a state-run accreditation process. It's a little bit less expensive, and it's more focused in on Arizona specific. So that really helps us. And so going into it from the very beginning, my commitment was to go through that process. And it's a long, arduous process. There is a lot of policies and procedures. We completely revamped all of our policies and procedures. But for those who are unaware, since I've been here, we've remodeled the police department. The oldest part of the police department, if you include what's attached to the fire department, is 120 years old. We've remodeled the side that the police is on from a late 40s, early 50s bomb shelter building to 1976 addition to make it a functional and modern day police department. We have improved our training for all of our officers, had standardized our hiring process to ensure that we're getting quality people, completely redone all the policies and procedures in the organization. But it's not just that. A lot of that has to do with making partnerships within the community, not only in the law enforcement community, but the community as a whole. We've increased our presence in community involvement from First Friday, Halloween, Light Parade. One of my officers, Sergeant Hernandez, that's in the back, actually started and founded our Easter egg hunt that we do every year. We do the bike rodeo. Officer Verdugo was really ahead of that. We've implemented the SRO program, and we went from 1 SRO to 3 SROs, and now we've re-implemented the DARE program. On top of that, we started a family advocacy center here in our community to serve the victims of crime, so we don't have to transport them down to the valley and deal with that. In addition, we have partnered with every single law enforcement entity in the county and beyond for the Copper and Rim Country Chiefs Association, founded 5 years ago. The intent behind that is to share resources, to do joint trainings, to save each of our prospective municipalities or governmental agencies funding and money on costs for training for officers, to improve our ability to respond. We do active shooter training every year with multiple jurisdictions participating because we are dependent on each other on any major crime scene or any major incident in the area, and this has been ongoing for all this time. I have pressured and put the accreditation process at the forefront of my department for the last several years, and it's a considerable amount of work. And in doing so, we've been able to revamp all of our policies and modernize every aspect of the police department, from our property and evidence to how we're patrolling. And so we just completed our mock assessment, which is where assessors from ALEAP go through and assess all of our online policies and procedures. And by the time we were completed that, we had under 100% compliance. In a week, 8 days from now, we will have on-site assessors, 2 assessors from other departments throughout the state who are already accredited and have been through it, are going to be at our facility for 2 days, and they're going to go through to make sure that we're actually practicing what we say we do. And upon successful completion of that, in late September, we're hoping to receive our full accreditation through ALEAP for this police department for the first time ever. Questions? So there's a lot of stuff I provided to the mayor, I've provided to council over the time on why we do what we do, but the benefits for ALEAP accreditation is the professional of excellence. And I can go through this entire list, but what I can tell you at the end of the day, it forces us to always provide best practice. Whatever that is, if it's use of force, if it's pursuits, if it's our commitment to the community, if it's the way we train, whatever the case may be, we are following best practices at all times, and we're in line with every other accredited agency within the state. Earlier this week, as part of the process, we posted this memo on our Facebook. It's on our Facebook and our website. What we're asking for is for all of you and all of the audience and the citizens of the community, not just Globe, but we service all of Cobra Valley. Whether they come in here or we have to go out and assist the Gila County or not, there's a link on there that will allow you to open it up and comment both pro and con of the police department. If there's an issue with the police department, we want to know about it because I can't fix it if I don't know about it. But we're looking for input from the community on this because it's important to us because we service you. You are our customers day in and day out. And so the idea behind it is to make sure that you're getting what you need from us. If you have suggestions, please provide them. If you have praise, please provide that. By the end of next Friday, I should have a clear understanding whether or not whether or not we have achieved what our goal was. We'll believe that we're going to make it through the hard work and dedication of all the men and women at the Globe Police Department and those that have been helping us from outside. But in addition to that, there's 2 things I would request from this council. The first thing is when we are successful achieving our goals of becoming an accredited agency, I would hope that this council, working with the city manager, could find a methodology within city ordinances to make that a requirement moving forward. So I can't be here forever. I love this community. I love what I do. And I've been very honored to be the police chief at the city of Globe. But I'm getting old just like everybody else is. I would want whoever takes my place to be required to meet the same standards that we set forth so we don't get back into that dark place that this agency was when I took it over. And the last thing I would ask this council to consider, and you don't have to consider it tonight, but think about it. You spent a lot of money and time on an assessment from the Public Safety Strategies Group in 2015. I would ask that we re-engage them and have them come back and do another assessment of that department after we achieve accreditation. The reason why is I want both this council and the community that we serve to know that we made the changes as required and recommended by that group from 2015, because they are all completed to the best of my knowledge. Are there any questions?
Go ahead.
Previously, I mentioned that as an emergency manager, I went through the same kind of accreditation program in the state of Arizona. And I would think, Chief, I would suggest, as you just mentioned, a couple of things going into the future. Some of our personnel at DEMA, Department of Emergency and Military Affairs, became inspectors and began traveling nationwide, implementing these accreditation programs for emergency management. So raise the bar one more step in the endeavor that you're doing right now. Maybe encouraging your officers at some point in time to become inspectors of the state of Arizona and help the rest of the agencies.
So, Councilman, Officer Driscoll, would you please step up? This is one of two assessors that'll be maintained with the City of Globe Police Department. The second one has not yet been selected. Our goal and commitment to ALEAP is to be fully engaged as we move forward. I think it's important for us, for our department, to maintain our awareness of any upcoming or changes in trends and be ahead of the curve. And we are fully committed to the success of that program statewide. In fact, I've talked to the assistant city manager briefly today that I would be more than happy to go give a presentation to the leagues of cities, or specifically the group for the mayors and the city managers in the future, on the importance of these rural communities embracing this and taking this on, because it's incredibly important for them. And a good friend of mine is the chief of police at St. John's. They've been accredited for 5 years. So size is really not the issue. It's willingness to participate and dedicating the organization to success.
That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. It's good to hear.
Fernando?
I know one thing that we were really excited about is having that host academy here through the college, and I understand that Lee Kennard, for certain reasons, personal reasons, had to step down from the leadership of that. Is that something that the police department is committed to helping us?
We're fully committed into seeing that go. I knew Lee was thinking about it. I was unaware that he has stepped down. That might be why my phone hasn't rang for a while, but yeah. So Councilman, when you put your other hat on, if you want to give me a call and we can set up a meeting with the college and let's come to a conclusion. The success of my police department is really dependent on the success of that academy. For the reasons I've stated many times before, we get longevity when we hire men and women from the community to have something other than the job tying them to the community. Whether it's because green flows in their veins or their grandma and grandpa live up in Globe. We want men and women from this community if we can get them. That's the idea behind the police aid process that we're going through this year, and we're going to hire a couple of police aides because we're trying to target young men and women from this community.
Chief, I know I was here when you were hired, and I just want to thank you. I've seen the progression of the department and the professionalism. I've seen the, more motivation. I mean, just more that your officers want to be here, and you've filled the slate as far as being fully staffed. I know we're still short some people, but we have never, I'm glad to see that our department is moving forward, and especially the accreditation to continue it for the future. And I agree. I would recommend, and I will recommend that for an assessment again for your department to see where we're at now.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mayor. Any other questions? Two things before I leave, or three things. First, it's an honor for me to be the chief of police for this great community. I absolutely love Gila County and Globe. I fell in love with it years ago, and I'm so happy to be here. The second thing I would tell you is If you haven't been through the Citizens Academy, please attend. It's incredibly important for young men and women or people in retirement. You get a better sense of what we do as a police department, and we take an extra hour because we always provide the best food. And then the last thing I would tell you is I want to give a shout out to my wife, Susan. Today is my anniversary. We've been married for 36 years, and I'm leaving unless you have more questions.
Oh, Freddie, one more.
Yeah.
Chief, one more.
Actually, I don't have a question, but I want to follow up on something the chief mentioned is, if we could somehow have a discussion or some sort of a, dialogue if it's one of the committees, but I think it's a great idea to implement some sort of a city code that maintains this, this level of professionalism.
We've, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Councilman Rios, we have talked about putting that in. I have an idea where we would put that in. We do, the position of police chief is in the code, and we can add that as a requirement that position maintain that structure,
Very good.
that certification.
Good deal.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Chief.
And thank all of you.
Go for it, chief.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Next, we have a presentation by staff updating council on the next steps of the United States Army Corps of Engineers McCormick Wash Tunnel Flood Risk Management Study and Continuing Authorities Program CAP Section 205 project, and Connie will update us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilman. It's an honor to be here to talk to you about this very unique program. And as you can see that we've been working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers since 2023 on this project. If we can go to the next slide. Okay, clicker, okay. Oh, there it is, okay, no, wrong, okay. So just to orient you to the project, up in the corner, the right-hand corner of this slide is the diversion dam. And you can see the orange. This was actually taken off the federal interest, the FID, the federal interest determination in 24. They came up here and they mapped this, and the flow from the diversion dam would flow all the way down through Broad Street, and you won't be able to see it very well, but there's a lot of buildings there. One of them is the U.S. Post Office, which makes this a very critical project for the U.S. Army Corps because they're federal. But also, this isn't about if it's going to happen, it's about when it's going to happen. And as you and I know, we can't predict the weather, and we can't predict this flow. And the other critical part about this flow is that the residents in the surrounding areas of Broad Street could be affected dramatically. So this would be a catastrophic event if it happens. Right here, it's also a floodplain. So these are the actual sketches from the FID for the floodplain. And so then we get to the particulars of the project, which is the project management plan and contract needs an authorizing signature by April 15th of 2025. One of the key factors in being part of the CAP program is that there is $100,000 applied from federal funding to the GLOBE's feasibility study, to the McCormick Wash feasibility study. And that determination was published on August 16th, 2024. And the feasibility study amount is in. It's going to be $3 million. And then under the cap, section 5, par 5, states that it will be split equitably between the two parties, which would be us and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So that leads us to GLOBE's cost match would be $1.5 million. And then we're on to the good news. So the good news is that we're applying $100,000 towards this amount, which brings it down to $1.4 million. And then right now, we have a congressional direct spending bill from Senator Kelly and Senator Gallegos for $400,000. And it is on the appropriations bill, and it'll be voted on. So, questions so far? Okay. More good news. So, this is the plan of attack for this project. So one option is a possible WIFA loan for FY26. And the second option is city funds for FY27. Third option would be being eligible for more federal funding in FY28. And so then let me explain the other side. So these are contractual funding increment agreements with the federal government, which would be the U.S. Army Corps. So upon signing our contract within 15 calendar days, we would have to send them, wire them money for $25,000. And then by July 1 of 2026, we'll owe $475,000. And I'd like to caveat that with that by then, we will have the vote possibly for that 400K. I don't always like to guarantee these things because, you know, we know what happened last year, but it's pretty solid. I have it from Kelly's office that it's solid. So then that 400,000 would just go straight to the Army Corps of Engineers. We don't have to do any paperwork. It doesn't turn into a grant somewhere that we have to fill out paperwork and that we have to send for and then give it to the Army Corps. So that money goes straight. So then by August 1st of 2027, we would owe another 500,000. And then August 1 of 2028 would be another 500,000. Total costs, $1 million for the city of Globe. So, and then I just added on here that seeking $1 million in funding, we would be seeking from sources that are yet to be determined. Okay, so we can, there's so many other avenues we can be looking at. And as you know, and I know, the world might be different by 28 and 27. So more opportunities may open up for us federally.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is one of those, this is a good problem to have. We've gotten the New Start, we've gotten the federal interest in fixing this tunnel. And we've seen from the news in the past month in Texas, you know, sometimes rain comes out of the blue and it's just massive. So we are on the path to get this tunnel shored up and fixed. We have, they're asking for us to make a commitment. I would call it a soft commitment, but it's a contractual commitment where we're going to indicate, I will sign a document, this the PMP, saying that we are willing to move forward in this process with the understanding that we will have to come out of pocket at 1.5 million. Now, as Connie has already explained, we have about 500,000 lined up right now, but it's lined up, you know, it's in the queue. We also have multiple ways that we can close that $1 million gap. We will first focus on with Bob and Anna. We'll be seeing them within the month and finding additional federal money. And then we will determine internally where we get the remainder of that money, whether it's WIFA, whether it's general funds, or something that we don't even know about right now. We have 3 years to go through this as we apply this. The only amount this budget cycle is that 25,000. Seems to be the sweet spot in down payments. But again, we can manage this. This is a commitment that we're making. We can manage and find the funds over the next 3 years, but I didn't want to sign this commitment without checking with council and making sure you're understanding that for us to move forward and getting this project completed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we need to put on the line that in one way or another we will come up with that 1.5 million. Although again, we're trying to get as much of that from the federal government for our match half.
Fernando?
Just for the benefit of the audience, one thing that I think is you should know is the Army Corps of Engineers will step up to help you to solve a problem. Okay, our problem was solved. It was just deteriorating, which was going to cause it to be unsolved. Well, they're not in the business of fixing things. They're in the business of solving problems. So with the help of our lobbyists and our efforts of going back and forth and all our communications and staff time, they've made an exception in our case to adopt this. So for this to even happen is quite taken a lot of effort.
Right,
Right,
and
so
yeah,
I think that's something that it's
it's a lot of, and to dovetail off of that really quick, just in January, Vince Mariscal, he took a team from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to the site again, and they did some value engineering before the feasibility study began, because they do have an interest in this. And as I pointed out, the post office is a big interest for them, but also a large group of population is a huge interest. So there's a lot of uniqueness going on with this.
And I just want to comment on it too. It's been a lot of years working on this to get to this point. And it's something that was identified many years ago. And if you don't know the location, it's hard to say, but if you go up towards Bailey and Mesquite, up at the top by close to Copper Rim, there's it's a tunnel that diverts the water to Copper Hills. And the post office is one key, but if you have businesses in the North Broad area, the downtown area, you're also going to see major flooding if that tunnel were to collapse and not divert the water to Copper Hills. So this is something that needs to be addressed. You said it, it's about when it's going to happen, and it's this council, our staff is aggressive, been working to try and come up with a way to resolve this issue and try and minimize really the financial impact to our residents, because there is funding out there, but it takes a lot of work to get there.
Mr. Mayor, we've had, just a couple comments, we've had major flooding since the Telegraph fire. That particular watershed was not involved. But as you can see in Texas, you can't predict the weather to that extreme flooding that could occur. And right now, in Texas, there's a lot of finger pointing going on. Whether or not there was enough early warning, whether or not they exercised and reacted quickly enough. We've seen the flooding down Canal Creek. We haven't seen that particular flood happen on that side of the creek. I'd like to be able to sleep at night knowing that we've done everything we can, and I've said this before, to mitigate a danger. We've done that on Canal Creek, we've put in some bridges, and the water flow was very well handled on the last rainstorm that we had, and I have video of that. But you can't predict what Mother Nature's going to do to you. We've been very fortunate on that particular watershed, very fortunate. And we've had a long journey to get to this point, to be able to get the federal government not only to see that it could occur, but to help us mitigate it. We're right at I've said this word before, we're right at that cusp again. And we need to do this. We have to dig deep. We've seen other projects where we've had to do long-term planning in order to make something happen. This is no different than a swimming pool or other things that we put in infrastructure in this region. It's necessary. Maybe it is a good point that there's a post office that might be damaged.
I thought
I
so.
hate to say things. The point being, we know the hazard is there, and what do we have to do to mitigate it? Well, it's here with us today once again. And as I said, we haven't had a flood down that particular waterway. I haven't toured that particular waterway, but I'm gonna go up there when the weather turns, and I wanna see it for myself. We've got the photos, we've taken them to Washington for them to see, and we're at that point today that we need to make these decisions. It's what it's about, and it's time to address them. And I am concerned about that. We've been very fortunate. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, just so you know, we knew about this funding situation going into the budget that we passed down. We knew that we wouldn't be hit with a heavy lift this year. This is doable. Just so you know, this is not a bridge too far. Something we must do, but it also is something that we've been planning for, accounting for, and we know it's coming. We'll make it work.
Mike?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say, in my previous position as a supervisor, one of the hardest things we had to do was get the Corps of Engineers to come in and buy in on the Tunnel Creek Bridge. And once we got them to do that, it took us still 8 years to get to a completion point. So the fact that we've got the Corps of Engineers right now in favor of doing this project, we need to stick with it, whether it takes us another couple of years or not. We can't lose the focus on it because it is important. Okay? Thank you, Connie, for the good work you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
We owe it to our residents, we owe it to our business, district downtown also to protect them. So that's what it's truly about. Thank you, Connie.
It's a fun hike, Mario.
Yeah. If you ever wanna go there, call me and I'll take you there.
Bring it home.
Yeah. Next presentation is the presentation of the 2025 City of Globe Nonprofit Bed Tax Organizations Memorandum of Understanding, Distribution, Reporting, and Training Requirements according to the MOU. Linda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and members of the audience, and those members of our bed tax organizations who were able to make it here tonight. We have Marianne Moreno with the Gila County Historical Society, and Bob Ogondo, the Executive Director of the Historical Museum. And we have May Sullivan with Center for the Arts, and Robin Bradford for the Southern Gila County EDC, and Mr. James Menlove also from Southern Gila County EDC. Okay. So we're just gonna go over what we've already touched upon and we've discussed several times, but members of our audience may not know all of this. So we have worked with our bed tax organizations over the past year. We've had a council work group that has met with the 5 bed tax organizations, which includes the Center for the Arts, the Downtown Association, the Southern Gila County EDC, the Gila County Historical Museum, and I just forgot one, and the Globe Miami Chamber of Commerce. Please forgive me. So from here on forward, we will identify them as the BTOs. We'll get some good acronyms in. So we have updated our agreement, and these are the finer points of the MOU distribution. There will, instead of a quarterly request, we've moved to a twice-a-year semi-annual bed tax request. The fall distribution period is from February 1 to March 30. That's the window in which the organizations can get their request into the city clerk for approval by city council. And that's from July to December. And then the spring distribution request is from May to June 30. And that's for the current January to June period of that fiscal year. All bed tax funding distribution requests must be reviewed and approved by council no later than June 30 of that funding year, so that we can meet, our auditing requirements. And the bed tax organizations need to be in good standing as required by this agreement, which we have all received from the bed tax organizations, approved and signed by their board. And there's one more. I wonder if it got added to. Nope.
You're good. Don't worry.
Gosh. Sorry, this is a new clicker. Technical difficult. Yeah, Shelley, please, could you go back to MOU distribution requirements? So there's a fourth one there that I did write in my. The previous slide. Okay, so it should be on this slide, but each bed tax organization will develop a unique 3-year capacity building development plan, and we'll get deeper into that at the latter part of the presentation. Oh, Now thank you, Shelley. I think I did that. Next is the bed tax reporting requirements. So these are the information that each organization will be supplying the city with, and that's a copy of their annual budget to the city clerk, and that's within 30 days following their budget adoption. And because not everybody follows the calendar year or begins in January. Each organization will also provide a list of their officers and directors to the Globe City Clerk annually with quarterly updates if there should be any changes. So if a board member should leave, or if there's an addition of a board member or of an officer. So all of this will be communicated with our clerk. Third one is the city council may invite the organization to present their activities, especially if they have something coming up and we can help promote, and there should be awareness about the programming coming out of the organizations. And in turn, the bed tax organizations may request to be an agenda item. Maybe they would like to come and share their news, something that they have going on. Again, helping to promote activity within the organization. And lastly, our bed tax organizations, if there's to be an agenda item on a city council agenda, then we will notify our bed tax organization so that they can come and be part of that dialogue. So this is really the new part of how we are trying to partner and work with our bed tax organizations and help to bring more resources into the organizations and help to increase capacity, both with funding and with extra hands. So quick overview. So the city, when we started these conversations and finding out, what are your biggest challenges? Where do you need the most assistance? Of course, all of our organizations need more funding. So how can we bring in more funding? Of course, on the city side, that's through additional bed tax funding, but with also more funding opportunities through grants and outside partnerships. So we have partnered with the United Fund of Globe Miami, and we are going to be bringing in ASU Lodestar, and that's their nonprofit college. And so we'll be bringing training, and it'll be one-on-one opportunities for not just all of our 5 bed tax organizations, but for all of the 24 agencies that receive funding from the United Fund of Globe Miami. So we're going to be providing this capacity building opportunity for 29 organizations, because there's some crossover there. Some of the bed tax organizations do receive funding from the United Fund. So this is a customized curriculum. We've worked for many months with staff from Lodestar. They really do know our community, because they started offering these kind of trainings, and I think it was back in 2014 and 15 when Freeport brought them into the community, and maybe many of us have already participated in that. And some of our organizations really took these tools and ran with them. And some of our organizations haven't had the opportunity to have access to this. So that's why we're bringing this amazing resource to the table. They know our community. We've shared with them why we are at the table in this way, some of the challenges that we've all faced. They work all over the state of Arizona in rural nonprofit sectors. So we're not unique in the challenges that we face as rural or as nonprofit organizations. Many of us, also wear that hat. We serve on other boards. So we know what these challenges are. And so maybe we can help one another too. If some of us have had a win, the best, why recreate the wheel? R&D it, rip off and duplicate if something works well. And so these will be 3 one-day sessions. There'll be 1 per quarter. And these again, they'll focus on capacity building, succession planning, fundraising, and fostering leadership. And this learning will build upon previous sessions. And depending on the feedback from the nonprofits who do participate, that will help us to plan for the next 2 years of programming. Because as council knows, you have committed to offering this resource to the bed tax organizations for the next 3 years. So this is the 5 classes that we will cover within those 3 days. And the first is high impact leadership. So in this course, our participants, they will explore essential leadership principles, and it'll be tailored for hands-on environments in the sector in which they serve, whether it be youth programming or food insecurity or services for our elders. And so we will be showing them, or excuse me, our ASU's facilitators will be showing them assessment tools and how to use them. So we're not just going to be opening a book and learning all of these great methods. We're actually going to be sitting down and working towards a plan with each of the organizations. And the second part of that same module, this is quarter 1, it's leading change in small organizations. And this is titled Becoming a Champion in Change. As we know, change is hard. And we want to focus on what we are best at. And sometimes in order to improve, we need to focus on those parts that are a little harder. And so that's going to be part of this particular module, is strengthening where we need to and making better even what we do well. So this particular course is going to address the unique challenges of implementing change when you have limited staff, tight budgets, because everyone's input matters. And I think we can all agree with that. The third class, and this will be in the second quarter, and this is Essential Board Basics, which is board governance. It's gonna be a fantastic class, learning what are the functions of the board and how can you recruit leadership and help to foster that and reach out and develop that even within our youth. The same quarter, we'll also be looking at resource development for results. So this is how can we bring in funding, whether it's taking a look at our programming, our events, are they providing a return for the organizations that are investing in these tools to bring in funding to those organizations? And sometimes we have to take a hard look at that. A year ago, I remember sitting in a round table, Bob and Mary Ann, I remember specifically, taking a look at our event inventory. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this really providing a return, or is it something we've done for so long that we feel we have to? And so, that's part of these hard conversations that we have to have and support one another when we may have to let something go so something new can sprout up and help support our bed tax organizations and nonprofits. And the last class for this fiscal year of training will be strategic action planning. So at the end of this, all of our organizations, but some do have strategic action plans. For instance, the Chamber they have engaged with a third party and they've moved forward and they have completed an SAP. So they can take a look at the SAP that they've developed through the lens of the tools that ASU will be providing us and seeing, is there something that we can tweak? Is there something that we can improve upon? Or is it good to go? So it's always good to have that third pair of eyes to take a look at that. And so after we're done that'll probably be in May, June, and then they'll have that to move forward with. And then year 2 and year 3, the curriculum will be based on where our organizations are and the feedback that they provide the facilitators, the City of Globe, and the United Fund. Oh, I forgot to mention, please forgive me, our third sponsor is Freeport-McMoRan. Because as I had mentioned before, Freeport was the organization that brought this resource to the Globe Miami area. And so to be able to partner with them again, to bring them back, for a second generation, it would be a fantastic opportunity that we can offer our nonprofits. So I would like to thank Freeport-McMoRan and the United Fund of Globe Miami for partnering with the city so that we could bring this type of programming, because it does come with a price tag. And because we are partnering with these organizations, And we are just fine tuning this curriculum, so it's around 35 to 40,000. And our organizations will have one-on-one access to our ASU facilitators. It's going to be very tailored for what each organization needs. So I couldn't be more thrilled, and I'm excited to participate in it as well, so that we can have these tools here in our community to pass on, to the next generation of leaders for our nonprofits. We all struggle. Our organizations are, as we all know, we're not getting younger, even though we'd like to think we are. So, when our lifeguards were here, I look to them because that's who's going to be leading these organizations and being the next public works director or the next city manager. So these are things that we can help bring into the community, so we foster that type of leadership here. So thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to working with all of our bed tax organizations.
What I want to do is open it up for any comments from council, and then I have a card for opening it up to the public or the organization that speaks.
good.
Anybody have any comments from the council?
When we did our strategic action planning this year, we had the mayor from Miami attending. And I know he's run with the program because I hear of those things occurring in Miami that he witnessed. And so things play into other activities throughout the region. And that's what I'm looking for.
Definitely.
Sometimes a fresh set of eyes on something tells you that, we need to go to the future and see where we can be. So I'm really excited about this. Last year I went up to Cottonwood and toured the Copper Museum that they had up there. Now, we have a museum in Miami, and we think of it along those lines. Well, it's a museum. Their approach was so fresh because it was all things copper from around the world, art and pieces of jewelry in a building that kind of reminded me of William Plaza. The point being, here's another take on the same subject: tourism, copper, the relationship to Arizona, and it was a fresh set of eyes for me, and it was surprising what they did. So those are the things I'd like to see springing forth from this kind of activity. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Freddie, go ahead.
For those that don't know, I was part of a committee that sat down for a number of meetings with the bed tax groups, and I feel like we've just come a long way to get to this point where there's a realization and an acceptance of partnership. As I learned about the bed tax groups and their origination, and we're going back to the early 1990s, if I'm not mistaken, when this, the city and the bed tax groups became real, and you hear the terms, that they're bringing the whole bed tax theory is to bring the heads of the beds, bring in tourism, bring in people that will stay extended stays and stay in the hotels, and there's a tax, levied on that helps the city fund the bed tax groups. So, again, just learning through the process and the history of the bed tax groups, it's just been an amazing learning process for me. But as a city council member, we talk about the taxes, and we've got to make sure that as a council and a mayor that's collecting these taxes, we want to ensure that those tax dollars are being delivered to the bed tax groups, and that that the city is being accountable for its obligation in this. It's not just collecting taxes. It's not just divvying out the tax dollars, but having some sort of a viable return on that investment. And the investment is in the bed tax groups because they are so rooted in this community. And a lot of them I get are volunteers. There's some paid, but most of them are volunteers. So, that's a tough ask for volunteers to nurture and keep, those investments going and bringing in ideas and thoughts, and I really applaud this acceptance of a program where, the city's funding the leadership professionalisms that are coming out of Arizona State University. But, I'm just anticipating what fruits this will deliver. And I'm kind of excited about that. And I'm really, I was asked yesterday if I would attend these trainings, and absolutely, if I can manage it through everything else that I got going in my life, I'm gonna join these trainings. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Yeah, I'd like to, I want to thank the Vice Mayor Stapleton and Councilman Rios and myself. We sat on the work group. We were part of that not negotiations, but getting together to bring our thoughts together. I want to thank all the representatives that attended all these meetings also to come up with this agreement. And really, it led to a strong mutual understanding. In the beginning, it was a little rough. I think it was time that we aired our dissatisfaction on both sides and made sure that we had a mutual agreement. And I think in the end, it started getting better and better. But this agreement really highlights the importance of really working together, that we're in it together. The city is committed to working with the bed tax groups and any nonprofits, because I'm glad that it's offered to other nonprofits within the city, within the community, that we're committed to it. And it really emphasizes accountability on both sides. Succession planning, we all have to think of it. We're not going to be here forever. We need to make sure that we're doing succession planning, that when somebody, leaves the organization or whatever, that those continue to move forward. Just like what Chief Walter is talking about, the accreditation program, that we make sure that whatever is awarded to their department now, make sure that it continues in the future, no matter who the chief is, no matter who the chairman is, no matter whatever it is in the future. That's what this whole thing is about. And we are committed to work together. We're not working against any bed tax organization. We want to make sure that they understand we're committed and we want to work together with you. And we're investing some money. And we thank Freeport McMoran, we thank United Fund, and then the city also footing the bill for this training to move forward with this agreement.
And there will be additional agencies brought in. ASU Lodestar works closely with Local First. I think we've all probably heard of the Economic Recovery Center. So a lot of those same tools will be shared within these workshops. And when Councilman Rios said he would like to take part, I couldn't encourage you to attend these more than I hope I am, because like I had mentioned, I was very fortunate to attend when they came here back in 2015, when I had my small business and I was a brand new board member on the United Fund, and these resources were a game changer for our organization. Our organization wasn't in the position we are in now. It's taken us 12, 15 years to get to this position, to be able to invest in the community what we are able to, and to bring these resources here. So, it takes time, commitment, but it's consistency. It's just continuing to take those steps, following the plan, and working collaboratively with other organizations and other partners in the community, because that's the only way that we can make these great things happen. So I look forward to it, and I think we have some bed tax representatives that would like to speak.
Yeah, I have a card from Bob Begandel, if you want to come up and what organization you're with, Bob?
Mayor, Council, I don't want to keep us here all night, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank you and the Vice Mayor Stapleton and Councilman Rios for the time that you invested in putting this memorandum of understanding together. As you said, when we first came together, things were a little tense, but by the time we got through with the process, it was very productive. And we had a meeting of the minds, and we all benefit from that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Any other bed tax personnel want to speak? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, and question to Linda, the next steps going forward?
Okay, so the next steps going forward, now that we've previewed this, that we will be I have a meeting with ASU on Thursday and with the United Fund staff so that we can finalize this curriculum. I believe the first meeting is set for October 20th, and so we're looking at the third Monday of the first month in the quarter. So we will get this communication out by the end of this week, and we really look forward to really digging in and being part of these organizations, plans and to help not just to develop a plan, but to put it to action, and so that we can all work towards that and pull in the same direction. So it's going to be an exciting time for our community.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda?
If I may, I want to ask council if we can move up action item 6A, since we have some of the bed tax organizations here, so they can hear that discussion also. And that 6A, is that okay with council?
Yes, go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
6A is the Globe City Council will discuss and approve a slate council bed tax liaison appointments to the 5 bed tax organization, the Regional Globe Miami Chamber of Commerce, the Globe Downtown Association, the Globe Corporate Valley Center for the Arts, the Southern Gila County EDC Corporation, and the Gila County Historic Society. So really, I guess what this is, and Paul will talk a little bit about, is just a commitment that if we know who the liaisons are for each group. If you still think that you're able to fulfill that commitment to these organizations, that's what we're after. If not, and some other council members want to step up into those roles, that's what we're here for. So Paul, you got any remarks on that?
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, like I say, we created this liaison position, and so we're, it's up to council just to have a conversation and decide how you want to divvy that up and by what standards. It's not set in code or anything like that, it's just part of the MOU. That there be created, that we have those council liaisons. The math is a little weird, there's 5 liaisons, 7 people, would have made it simpler. But there's no requirements, but we did want to invite members of the bed tax organization here in case they had any feedback or want to participate in the process.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and start. I'm the liaison for the Southern Gila County EDC. I've served as their chairman in the past couple of years. Now I'm still part of the executive board. I think we've done some revamping. I think, we're kind of moving forward. We are moving forward with, trying to come up with our ideas, some of this, what's going on in the training in the future. So I'm happy to stay in that position unless somebody else really wants to do it, but I'm happy to commit to that position, continue.
And also, Councilman Leatham is, I think, on.
Yes, and yeah, I'm gonna give it, whoever's the liaison for any organization, if you wanna commit to it, or.
Yeah, I'd like to stay on with the Globe Downtown Association. It's a very challenging environment that they exist in, responsible for several events throughout the year, and it's amazing how they pull it off. It is always in the public eye because there's so many people that attend their functions, and I'm glad to help out whenever I'm asked to do, and I enjoy that a lot, and working with those people. They've been very conscientious about delivering the services, a long list of activities throughout the year. And I'm really pleased to be a part of that. Being a musician and a singer, it's right up my alley, so I really enjoy doing that and working with those people.
Fernando?
I think Jesse got.
Oh, Jesse?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to follow up. I enjoy being on the Globe Miami Regional Chamber of Commerce. As I stated previously, I have been elected into the president position for the board there. We have undergone with this new board into now a member focused chamber, and moving into that, what that looked like is looking for a website that has programming for our staff side. So that'll come out. We've employed a third-party representative that came out and did a one-day training with the chamber for a strategic action plan that should be coming out soon, as well as make sure we got the funding from our partners in the community for the marquee, so that way we can have additional revenue through advertising memberships, as well as adding on to our membership dues. With that moving forward, like I said, the chamber is positioning itself in a spot not to have to rely on just ed tax money, but being able to grow themselves and sustain themselves eventually. They've looked at, now we're looking at a 501c3 arm of the chamber that would be a foundation for the chamber to go and get grants that the C6 prohibits us from getting. So there's a lot of big strides that the chamber's making currently, and I'm happy to be part of that, happy to be the liaison and be that go between the city and the chamber of commerce.
Thank you, Jesse. Fernando?
I serve with the museum board, and I'm very proud to be affiliated with them. I think they're an amazing group of volunteers. They work their little butts off. I'm not sure if they want to keep me, but if they're willing to keep me, I'm willing to stay. So.
Thank you. Freddie?
Yeah, so, I'm the liaison for the Center for the Arts. First of all, I want to apologize to the Center for the Arts that I have not been able to keep a sustained commitment. I have things that I've committed to in my life prior to this assignment that really takes up a lot of my evenings. As I coach at the high school. I've been coaching there for over 5 years now. And so it's been very difficult for me to manage that commitment to evenings on a routine, continuous basis and keep it sustained. So for that, I want to apologize. That said, without any sunset clauses that, the committees or the liaisons stay for 1 year, 2 year, 4 years, I'm hearing a lot of members that would like to continue that. I'm not trying to say that we should exercise change in that if it's working. Don't try and fix something that's not broken. So the challenge that I have is to maintain that commitment to not just the high school teams that I coach, but then these organizations that have meetings on the same evenings. And so it's a struggle for me. And it's been, and it's my fault for spreading myself out so thin. That's just the fact of it. And my wife lets me know that. I will continue to work with the city, the Center for the Arts. Again, like Fernando said, if they'll take me. But that, we can have offline discussion on that if we want to do that, Mayor.
Okay.
But that's just, that's my position, that's where I'm at, that's where I found myself to land, and again, my apologies for that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. This is true commitment to the individuals doing that because, people have work, people have other activities. And we're really as a council, we're committing to those groups. So it's not just, so that shows that we're committed to you as organizations to make you successful. And so we're willing to put the time in. So if there's no other,
I just want to say that I'm available now. So if anybody does want to change, I'm available.
Okay.
So I have more time now than I did in the past.
It's nice to be retired, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
You'll know soon, Freddie.
I hope so.
But anyway, I want to leave that option open, so
Okay.
I am available.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess we can ask for a motion to continue our liaison.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I think, talking to Shelley, I think that since there's no change, we're holding the same positions. I think just direction to keep the assignments that are in place. And that direction is enough for us to just keep everything going as is.
Okay. Okay. And at any time when it becomes overburdened for any of us, we need to make sure that we step up and say, it is probably time to have somebody come in and take over.
Mr. Mayor, I'm available, but I'm not gonna step right up, okay?
All right.
But when somebody needs to be gone, if they want me to go sit in for them,
Okay.
usually I'm available, just depending on my doctor's appointments.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Mike. So, we'll move on to consent calendar. So the matters listed in the consent calendar are considered to be routine and have been enacted by one motion and one vote. Public hearing items are designated with an asterisk. Prior to consideration of the consent agenda, the mayor will ask any of the members of the public wishes to remove a public hearing item for separate consideration. Members of the council and or staff may remove any item for separate consideration also. Item A is consider a waiver of section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule to allow action on the balance of the consent agenda. Accounts payable, $1,689,867.60. Consideration approval of council minutes. We have a ratification of a letter in support of the final environmental impact statement prepared by the U.S. Forest Service for the Resolution Copper Land Exchange. We have consideration to award contract number PS 2025-0175 to Alliance Service Control Specialist to perform diagnostics on the booster number 4 in the amount of $840. Funds for this project are budgeted in account 5080512551, well pump maintenance repairs. We have consideration to award contract number CS 2026 and 0025 to Alliance Service Control Specialist to replace blown fuses and startup activities for boosters number 4 for the amount of $1,973.51. Funds of this project are budgeted in account 5080512551, well pump maintenance repairs. We have discussion and consideration to award contract number PS 2026-0023 to Smith Industries to conduct troubleshooting activities for the Crestline Booster Station for the amount of $1,390.99. Funds for this project are budgeted in account 5080512551, well pump repair. And we have consideration to award contract number PS 2026-0027 to Alliance Service Control Specialist to troubleshoot SCADA system warnings down at the Cutter Wells for the amount of $1,710. Funds from this project are budgeted in account 5080512551, well pump maintenance repairs. Do we have anybody from the public, the staff, or the council wishing to move any of these items separately? I would like to just remove accounts payable because of the high amount, just to be transparent.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to accept the consent agenda as read and remove item, I'm sorry, I missed the item number. A1 for further discussion.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda as read, minus accounts payable. Any further discussion?
I just like to say something real quick. I like the idea that you put these small dollar amount things on the consent agenda. That's just really smart. 'Cause it seems like we always talk about every single $1,000 that we spend.
And to the, Mr. Mayor, members of council, to Councilman Shipley, that is a breakout of our under 25 list, but it also documents these things. We use these agendas to track down the history of these expenditures. It locks it into perpetuity. So it's great that we've started adding this as a Shelley idea. Also, she wanted, well, it does add a little bit of reading requirements to the mayor. But we won't go any further than.
Keeps me going, yeah. Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion passed. So just on the accounts payable, just want to make sure that, because it's a high amount, this is for 3 weeks because we did delay our meeting a week, so that's why you're seeing the $1.6 million. We did do bed tax distributions at an amount of $122,000. We did payment to Arizona Eastern Railroad, again for the bridge, $232,000. We did a payment to Arizona Municipal Risk Pool, $114,000. We had a Blue Cross Blue Shield major medical payment that we had to do of $352,000. And Meridian for the bridge, $245,000. And Phoenix Water Solutions, $92,000. So those were outside of what our normal payments are for every 2 weeks. So that's why it increased the, usually that's why it went up to the $1.6 million payment. So just want to be transparent so people understand why the amount was so high.
Mr. Mayor, based on your explanation, and I would make a motion that we approve the financial statement, agenda item 4.A1 as presented.
Second.
Motion and second for approval of item A1. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nay? Motion passed. Go to new business. We have item 5A is the council sitting as the Historic Preservation Commission will consider a request to approve a new sign package for the property located at 725 North Broad Street, McSpadden Collision Center within the Historic Preservation Overlay District. So we have Dana online.
Dana's on the line. Dana, are you there? Yes, Dana, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, council members. McSpadden Collision Center is proposing new signage. Quickly do that. Again, they are in the Historic Preservation District.
And Dana, the applicant is in the audience too.
All right, and then if you can see this, there we go. Subject property right here. This would be the collision center and body repair, or collision center and body repair building. And then this is another building south of the proposed sign locations. So the first window sign that we'll cover is located right here on the existing glass to catch that facing north, to catch the southbound traffic on coming in North Broad Street. And then there's two existing poles without the sign heads on, one being about here, and then the other down here. This proposal is to include a new sign head for this, the north, or the nearest pole to the McSpadden Collision building I mentioned is at the north here. So with that, you can see all the entire property. There's a proposal, and that would be the new sign that would go on top of that existing pole, totaling 16 feet, which is the maximum height allowed for freestanding signs without exceptional council approval. And just to let you know, the existing signage, I think right now is just the Ford logo on this southern building, and that is to be removed. And all existing signage is to be removed from the buildings, painted the same existing color on the McSpadden buildings. And then same with this location, this body shop will be covered. And then that is the transparent window sticker to be located here. All that signage is within our sign area. Just to let you know, if there's a transparent window sticker, it's allowed up to 80% to cover up to 80% of the window sign. And again, those are the two locations on the north side, and then there's a window sticker here, pole sign here. So with that, I did discuss, we have not seen a transparent window sign yet, a proposal for one. So I'm working with Tanner to make sure that it meets the intent of transparency. That said, staff is recommending approval with these 3 conditions. Provide a street number, which is a typical requirement. It's probably already on there, but we just reiterate to make sure that we can see that fire department can see that police, or I'm sorry, the address number of the property. The design review is applicable for up to 1 year, and then it expires if no action has been taken. That's become a new standard that we apply, so we don't have lingering outstanding approvals for applicant. And then thirdly, work with the zoning administrator to ensure perforated window sign design, and that's how it was presented to the city in their application, be perforated. We want to make sure that that sign design meets the sign code intent for transparency to qualify for the 25%, to qualify for the over 25% window coverage and up to 80%. So with that, staff is recommending approval. I'm happy to respond to any questions you have.
You have any questions?
Makes sense.
I think it looks good.
Any comments? Oh, Freddie, go ahead.
I'd like to just make a comment. I really appreciate Mr. and Mrs. McSpadden for their history of business here in Globe, Miami area. When they left, a big part of their name left the community as a business. And I was really excited to hear that when they came back, they bought the body shop. So I'm gonna put a plug in because I've used that body shop with that personnel for many vehicles that I personally own, my work vehicles. And they absolutely do some fabulous, high-quality work. So congratulations and thank you for that business that you bring to our region. I just want to say that because I'm honestly truthful about what I'm saying here. They do really good body work. Made my mistakes on my vehicles look good. So, thank you for that. I just want to put that plug in and, we can proceed with the vote.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the McSpadden name back on the downtown Globe. It really has been there a long time, means a lot to our community, so we appreciate that. And we give you the opportunity to speak too also if you need to. Go ahead, Fernando.
Well, I'm involved with that body shop quite a bit, being an insurance agent. I'm very happy for Cheryl and Dwayne being there. They're awesome. They take good care of their customers, and for all those that choose that shop, I don't see anybody dissatisfied. And it's really nice to have that part of the company back that understands the body shop, because it was a challenge there for a little while. But yes, welcome back, and thank you for stepping up. So.
Yeah, I too want to just say welcome back to the community. You guys have been missed a lot. So I know I ran into you at Walmart, 2 months ago maybe, and we briefly discussed this. So I'm very excited to see that it is happening. So thank you too very much. And it'll be nice to see you guys around town more. So, but not at my old place. That's gone. So, but thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if there's no further
Do they want
discussion, I would make a motion. Do we have to accept, do a motion on this? Okay, I make a motion that we accept the signage changes for the McSpadden Collision Center.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval, item 5A. Any further discussion? No comment? We're good? Okay. All right. So I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion passed. Thank you. So we have item B is consideration of City Council Resolution number 1908 to grant approximately a combined 1,560 square feet for private driveway and private sewer utility easement on Gila County, Arizona assessment parcel APN 208-03-225C, which is owned by the City of Globe, and request to waive section 2-4-A prior discussion rule. Shelley, can you read resolution 1908, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 1908. Resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, approving and authorizing the granting of a private driveway and sewer utility easement to Elliston Equities LLC over certain city-owned property located on parcel 208-03-225C, and authorizing the mayor to execute and record all documents necessary to effectuate said easement within the City of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, pursuant to applicable Arizona revised statute. Is the council pleased with that reading?
Yes. We have Travis.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council.
Elliston Equities has asked to grant them a easement so they can put in a grease trap or a grease interceptor on the side of the building. It's the old Copper Hen building that was owned by Councilman Stapleton. One of the requirements for that, what he's doing, he needs to install a grease interceptor. And because the building is on the lot lines, on every line, there's really no room to put it. So with the city-owned property right next to it, we were in discussions and negotiations over time, and we decided that we would grant an easement so he can have access to put in the grease interceptor and have a pathway to drive there for maintenance and repairs.
Any questions or comments for Travis?
I make a motion for approval, Mayor.
Second.
Wait, we gotta waive the prior discussion.
Oh, and waive the rules,
And
Chairman?
waive the rules.
Thank you, Jesse. We have motion and second. You got the second, Freddie?
Right, okay, thank you.
We've got a motion and second for approval of item 5B. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstaining? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Here, Travis. Item C is consideration to approve Resolution 1913, establishing the ability to impose indemnity limitations on private for-profit contracts and request to waive Section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule. Shelley, can you read Resolution 1913, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 1913, a resolution by the City of Globe City Council declaring that at the City of Globe, the city will not contractually indemnify private parties for their negligence. Is the council pleased with that reading?
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, this goes back to a core constitutional feature, known as the gift clause in Arizona, which says you can't use public monies to benefit private individuals or companies. In many instances in doing some of the contracting and the agreements that we do, private entities will ask us to pick up certain parts of indemnification of their behavior. Bill Sims, our city attorney, says we will take care of our responsibility, but we expect the private individual to take care of their responsibility. We had a situation where someone in working with the entity, it's like, well, where does it say that? And I'm like, okay, well, let's just put it in writing. That the city will not indemnify unless we can, and there is a situation in there where unless there is an equal value that we can, a first degree value that we can define that says it is worth that value is greater than the cost of the indemnification. But in general, this is just helping us when we go through and do negotiations and partners ask, and we're working with the attorneys. It makes it very clear that it is not something that the city will do. Now, it doesn't help us much with people like ADOT who like to have us indemnify them, but at least for private property or private sector entities, we can do that with this. So we're kind of restating the obvious, but it's a benefit to something we have going on right now.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
And I think, are we asking to waive the rule? We are. Yes.
No other questions or comments, Mayor. I motion to approve and waive the rules.
Second.
Have a motion and second for approval of item 5C. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Any abstaining? Motion passed. Item D is consideration to approve resolution number 1919, designating the City of Globe as a destination marketing organization, DMO, for the City of Globe fiscal year 2025-2026. And this is also request section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule. We have Melissa. I'll read resolution 1915, Shelley, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 1919? A resolution of the City of Globe, Arizona, Mayor and Common Council designating the City of Globe as a destination marketing organization for the City of Globe for FY 5/26. Is council pleased with that reading?
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me up here again for the DMO designation for the City of Globe. We want to be able to continue telling Globe's story and to really get our advertisements out there. Promoting Globe all year long with strategic marketing to put us on the map. We want to make sure to uplift our whole community, keep doing so, share our businesses, share our activities, and all the things the bed tax groups were here for earlier. Also, we're going to continue to track results using the data that we get through this partnership with Arizona Office of Tourism and our DMO designation to make sure that we're staying on the right track and staying relevant in the marketing world.
Melissa, we've been our own DMO, individual BDMO for several years now, right?
I think this is actually the second year.
Second year that we've been, okay. Fernando?
So is this something that we need to do every year?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways. I think that last year we did this and decided to do it annually. So that's why we're doing it. Again, it's that time of year.
Is there a way, oh, I'm sorry, Mayor, if I could.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Well, is there a way that, we wouldn't have to do this annually, but we could do it biannually?
I believe that it's possible for you guys to decide to do it even indefinitely, as long as you have the paperwork and it's up to you guys how you want it to be designated.
Now, I don't know what the rest of the council feels, but
Yeah.
I would prefer us, making this a longevity and making this something that we're sticking with. So if you could maybe put something together and give it to me, myself and my colleagues.
Yeah, I agree, Jesse. I think if there's a change that our staff would bring it to us, and that's the only time we'd have to vote on it again, I would think.
I believe so. I think it's just investing in our future and investing in what we have going on here. And I think that our staff does an amazing job of telling our story and marketing it. So I think that it's only right that we just give her that authority to keep marching forward with it.
Good point.
We would be able to adjust that, probably, that would be some part of the budgeting process, whether or not we wanted to continue, right?
Well, even when we have a 2-year commitment and it spans multiple budgets, we budget individually. So we would budget for the first year, and even though it loops in, we would recreate that budget in the next year. So we wouldn't, it wouldn't really impact the budget.
But if we had to pause it, I guess we would identify that more in the budget process, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So do we have to make a motion, or are we gonna bring it back with the,
Well, she's trying to get it done right away because we're
Right.
trying to market, right?
Yeah, we're trying to partner with the Arizona Office of Tourism again this year to get the basically 50% off deal on a lot of ad buys. And so part of that is you have to have your DMO designation to send to them.
Do we need to add the wording in there to go beyond the 1 year and just, can we do that? Can you do that as a staff?
You can stipulate an additional verbiage to extend it multiple years.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, then if I'll make the motion to approve as read with the stipulation that this is a biannual agreement to come back in 2 years for reevaluation
And waive the rules?
and waive rules.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item
5D.
5D or 6D?
5D.
5D. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're on 6B.
We passed A,
Yeah, we did A already.
so we're at 6B now.
Turned it. Okay. B, okay. Sorry, I lost my place here. 6B, consideration to approve ordinance number 892, adopting fiscal year 25-26 property tax rate adjustment in the amount of $1.1892 on each $100 of assessment valuation. Paul?
Actually, do we want to read it?
Oh, I'm
Oh, the
sorry.
resolution, yes.
Yeah.
892.
Danny, do you have the slide?
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Ordinance number 892, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Globe levying upon the assessed valuation of the property within the city of Globe, subject to taxation, a certain sum upon each $100 of valuation sufficient to raise the amount estimated to be required in the annual budget, less the amount estimated to be received from other sources of revenue, providing funds for the general municipal expenses for the fiscal year ending the 30th day of June 2026. Is council pleased with that reading?
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is our final closure of the budget process, which is adopting the rate for our property tax. As I think for the third year in a row, the council has made a commitment to hold the levy, which is the amount that people pay, stable. And we do that as the valuation of their properties go up. We ratchet down slightly the rate so that the levy, which is the math between the valuation and the rate, come together, that there's no change in their property tax. Although, so we were actually doing a very, very slight property tax decrease, but the amount collected is a slight increase because of the value of new construction is added there, and we take advantage of that. It's not a lot at this point, but that is the commitment that that council has made. Property tax hits the residents only, unlike sales tax, which all the visitors and travelers, help support. So this is a good thing that council has decided to do to help families that live in Globe.
Questions, comments? No public comments on that.
Mr. Mayor, if there's no comments, I would make a motion to approve ordinance number 892, levying taxes for the fiscal year 25-26, a primary property tax sufficient to collect the sum of $545,264 established to be 1.1892 dollars on each $100 of assessed valuation, which represents a rate reduction of 0.0329.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, Mr. Mayor, go ahead.
just a point of order. We should, the council needs to do a roll call vote. This is a tax.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, just also one quick comment is we partner with the county who does a collection of this, and they do the heavy lifting a lot of this. We work with them to set the rate. This goes back to them to approve that. So, like I say, this is both city and county, getting this done. We try to make it simple for you. But we thank our partners at the county and county manager, Menlo. So thank you.
Sounds good. So if you want to do a roll call vote, Shelley, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is for ordinance number 892, the FY 25-26 property tax rate adjustment. Roll call vote, District 1, Councilman Rios.
Yay.
District 2, Councilman Pastor.
Aye.
District 3, Councilman Leatham.
Aye.
District 4, Vice Mayor Stapleton.
Aye.
District 5, Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
District 6, Councilman Shipley.
Aye.
Mayor Gameros.
Aye.
The majority vote is yes, and ordinance number 892 passes.
Thank you.
I bet we won't hear nothing about good things we did.
No. You're right.
So item 6E is consideration and possible council consent for the mayor's appointment of Rodrigo Garcia Ortiz to the Historic Preservation Advisory Commission as per City of Globe Code Section 14-24. I reviewed his application. I am recommending that we vote on putting Mr. Ortiz on the Historic Preservation Commission also, which we're still seeking members for. And I think you should have his application too for review, I think.
Not in my packet. package.
Mr. Mayor, the application was not included in
Oh, it
the
wasn't?
agenda packet just because of personal information, but I will forward that to council
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and I reviewed it and had discussed it with Charlie also, and I think he'll be a good candidate for that.
And Mr. Mayor, if I could please just advise the board that we are still looking for that quorum member for the HPAC. Our, Mr. Doug Schugert was our existing, remaining member, and, he has moved. So we're back down to just 4, so,
I was gonna ask you, how many do we have? So 4?
yes.
Step forward or step back.
With this one, Rodrigo had, his wife is a Spanish teacher?
I'm not sure.
We have a retired council member.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's a conflict of interest.
and Mr. Mayor, members of council, I don't know that everybody knows, but this member, this future member, also was very key in helping with the library project and has been working with the city professionally on a couple levels. But we're glad to see somebody of his caliber, and just the more variety of background you have on HPAC, the better it will be.
you bet.
Mr. Mayor, do you need a motion for this?
Yes,
I make a motion to approve it.
Second?
got a motion second for approval of item 6C. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining, motion passed. Item 6D is consideration to possibly approve change order number 1 to contract number CS 2025-0136 with Easton Electrical for the wastewater electrical installation project in the amount of $1,290 to be funded from account 51805123 wastewater contractual services. And we have Vince.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. If you remember, we went into a contract with Eastern Electric to do some upgrades down at the plant, some safety stuff, get us up to code there. During the process, we found some outlets that needed to be upgraded. They were outdoors, they needed some covers on them. A lot of them were GFCI outlets, so we just made those additions to this project, and he did a great job, finished it up, and this was the kind of the final billing for the adjustment there.
Questions or comments for Vince?
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, again, any change order of any type, we bring that forward directly to council. Do not need to waive the rule because we've already discussed this prior.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I motion to approve the change order number 1 to contract number CS 2025-0136 with Eaton Electric.
Second.
A motion second for approval of item 6D. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstained, motion passed. Thank you, Vince. Me is consideration of City Council Resolution 1940, grant approximately a combined 401 square foot for a public water utility easement on the County, Arizona, assessed parcel number APN 102-23064, which is owned by Janine Brockert, and waive section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule. And I think this is one of many, Travis, so you want to start with this one?
Do we need to read the resolution?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Thank you.
resolution. Thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor. Resolution number 1914. Resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, accepting a public water utility easement from Jeannie Brockert, parcel number 102-23064, to the City of Globe, and authorizing the execution and recording of said resolution within Gila County, Arizona, pursuant to applicable Arizona revised statutes. Council, please with that reading.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. So you were correct, Mayor. These next 5 agenda items are pertaining to 2 separate PFAS projects that are being administered by ADEQ. PFAS, I'm not even gonna try to attempt to say what that means because I can't say the word. But it's the forever chemicals, the chemicals that are they get into the water. So this particular one for resolution number 1914 is the only one for this particular project in the August Hills Trailer Park. It's putting in a water line. ADQ had some funds for clean water activities,
And they reached out to the city of Globe to see if we had any projects that we be willing to entertain. And August Hills Trailer Park was one. Their well was very well contaminated from what we understood. So it was a good project to provide that clean water for the residents there. And so through those funding, ADEQ had hired Kimberly Horn to do the design work for these projects. And as a result of the design, we need to establish a public water utility easement in order to allow that water main line to go through, hooked up to our water system here in the city.
Freddie?
Travis, is this going to be like a master meter, or are they gonna be individually metered? How many units are we talking?
I don't know the number of units, but there is gonna be a master meter for this particular one for the August Hills. And then, from my understanding, the property owner has the pipe pretty much lined out, obviously with the existing piping, I believe, correct? So all they have to do is just tap it into the tap, and there's a backflow preventer also being installed as well. But there's one master meter.
And the size of that meter?
Inch and a half.
Inch and a half? Okay. Just trying to get an idea of the volume that we'll be providing.
Mike has a question.
Thank you.
Mike, go ahead.
So, Travis, this is in the county, not in the city that we're doing this work.
That is correct.
Now, how are we gonna, manage that? Is the county gonna manage it, or are we gonna manage it? As far as billing and,
Well, it will be on the municipal water system, so we would be doing the billing for that. So there is an out of city limit rate that gets charged to that. So, but we would be managing the billing.
and those folks that are gonna get this new water line, do they realize they're gonna be paying us instead of their water company or whoever they're paying?
Well, since it is gonna be one master meter, I would imagine the property owner is part of their rent or how they do the payment for that part, so.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, Councilman Pastor, like I say, we have a number of customers that are in the county area that we serve. And again, it does matter on the rates, but on the service, they're just a member of our system, and we treat them and offer that same service.
Good.
And that'll be the case for the other three?
That's a little bit different.
Okay. We'll get to that then, I guess.
We'll get to that.
And this one is number 19.
1914, yes.
1914.
Okay. And there was some confusion on this, and I think it was the way the map was, the drawing was provided, because you could see the property outline, okay? And then below the property outline, they put Upper Canal Creek.
That's gonna be these next ones coming up.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Because that was.
This is not that one.
That's not that one. But isn't it that way on all of the drawings?
No.
Okay.
We'll get to that when we get to there.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept or approve item 6E.
6E, yes.
Resolution 1914.
Yes.
And waive the prior discussion rule. Sorry.
Second?
Motion and second for approval of item 6E. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstaining? Motion passed. Item F is consideration of City Council Resolution number 1915 to grant approximately a combined 1,133 square feet for a public water utility easement on Gila County, Arizona Assessor Parcel Number APN 205-20016K, which is owned by Alan Palmer and Vice Palmer, and request to raise Section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule. Shelley, can you read Resolution 1915, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 1915. The resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, accepting a public water utility easement from Alan Palmer and Vice Palmer, parcel number 205-20016K, to the city of Globe, and authorizing the execution and recording of said resolution within Gila County, Arizona, pursuant to applicable Arizona revised statutes. Is council pleased with the reading?
Yes.
All right, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. So These next four are in the same project, but this particular one with resolution number 1915 is the actual property that's going to have the meter set up for them. Unfortunately, there's 3 other properties that lead up to that property, and there's no right-of-way established there. So the main water line is going to run along Upper Pinal Creek Road through their properties, because the way some of those parcels out there encompass the road as well, we have to get an easement technically through their property. So that's just the preface of these next four. But in this particular one, the meter will be a 2-inch meter, or 2-inch service line that's going to be equipped with a master meter and a backflow preventer as well. This is the property, the Palmer Mobile Home Park, or also known as the HAV Mobile Home Park, I believe it's also known as, is the one seeking to get the water supply.
Question.
Go ahead, Freddie.
Travis, I keep hearing the common theme of a backflow preventer. That's going to be managed by the owner, correct? Or is that going to be managed by the city?
By the owner.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, in discussions of this project, there may be an annexation opportunity here. That is, we have not hit that mark yet. We may be looking at that in the future as a way to bring this park into the city. There's different considerations to be made, but but we are not at that point again to make that decision. And so that may come back as a possible thing. But to the point of Councilman Pastor, if annexed into the city, then their water rates would be lower, at least to the owners.
Okay.
Okay, question?
Go ahead, Mike.
So, all 4 of these requests, there's no expression of how much money we're talking about. How much is a grant from ADEQ?
Well, it's not a grant, it's nothing that we're administering as a city, so ADEQ is paying the bill all the way.
Oh, okay.
So there's no expenses to the city.
We're just doing the work.
They're just doing the work, correct.
Good luck, babe.
Okay, I got it. I'm confused by a little bit. So we're granting them an easement on, that's how it sounds, but it's not. We're asking them to provide us with an easement so that we can put the line in. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
But it sure doesn't sound that way. It sounds like we're giving them the easement.
It says we're accepting a
Accepting,
public
yeah.
utility easement from.
The owners.
A public
That means they're
water
granting it.
easement from.
Okay, so, but they have to sign off and they have to agree. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And some of these, when we get to particular ones, we're still in discussions with them. What had happened is, since Kimley Horn is doing the design and ADQ is administering it, it was assumed that the property owners were notified that of the result of the design, that an easement was needed. Found out just really recently that they weren't notified, so I've been starting that process. A good portion of them have been notified. One is actually asking just to table it. That'll be on item number H when we get there, but they're asking just to table it so they can take a look at the documents. We're okay with that, and I still got to get a hold of one other person. I just can't get a hold with the phone number that I have, but I don't see or anticipate any issues from them as well. But
And so, Mr. Mayor, members of council, so Travis, even these that we approved tonight, they have not been signed yet by the property owners. So we are not the last stop for that. But this is, again, the state has come in, they have hired a contractor. The contractor is trying to set this up. They have come to us as partners and asked us to participate in these easements that they have prepared and paid for and done the legal descriptions. And so this is us doing our small part of that project. Again, but the primary driver of this is the contractor, and they are hired by the state.
Okay, so even if we approve it, it's not completely a done deal.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Normally, if it was us, we would want all the approvals in place before we bring them to council, but this is a little bit different. And while we're talking about this, Travis is done yeoman work and putting all this together, because it is very complex.
Yeah, it is.
And construction cannot occur until these easements are in place, so they're waiting for us just to get it processed.
Now can I bring up what?
Sure.
So the drawing that was presented to me basically shows that here's the property, the perimeter. They put Pinal Creek Road, Upper Pinal Creek Road down here, like the second one. And so now it looks like we just decided to arbitrarily move 150 yards north and go right through the middle of their property to put this easement in. And if they would have just labeled where the line was going through as the road, it would have.
And the particular exhibit you're talking about, I believe, is the one for item I, for that particular property. But in general, the legal description is the legal description that we will go by, that the assessors will go by. The labeling on the map can be a little confusing depending where they put it, but when I was looking at a Google map and looking at their legal description, just kind of generally lining it up, it does appear for that particular one in item I, when we get there, is outside of their fence. And that was a comment that they made, so. But we'll do further discussions with them to make sure and assure them that it is outside and it's going along the Pinal, Upper Pinal Creek Road.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, to Councilor Chipley's question, like I say, will these be legal even though the map seems confusing? They will be legal.
Yeah, I was just trying to give advice. If they would have labeled it correctly, we wouldn't have had a
Yeah.
problem, but because it looked like you're
Oh, yeah. No,
just
I-
arbitrarily taking half their yard away, they were like, what? And I'm like, whoa, okay.
They.
With that explanation, I'd make a motion to approve this resolution as read.
And waive the prior discussion.
Yeah. And waive the prior discussion rules.
And that is which number we're on?
6F.
6F.
Resolution 1915.
Yeah, 1915, yeah.
Okay.
So I got a motion and a second for approval, item 6F. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion passed. Item 6G is consideration of City Council Resolution number 1916 to grant approximately a combined 1,043 square foot for a public water utility easement on Gila County, Arizona Assessor Parcel Number APN 205-20017E, which is owned by Emmanuel Garcia and Tessa Garcia, and request to waive section 2-4-10A prior discussion rule. Shelley, can you read resolution 1916, please?
Resolution number 1916, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, accepting a public water utility easement from Emmanuel Garcia and Tessa Garcia, parcel number 205-20017E, to the city of Globe, and authorizing the execution and recording of said resolution within Gila County, Arizona, pursuant to applicable Arizona revised statutes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, please with the reading.
Yes.
Same thing?
Same thing.
Ditto.
Ditto.
It's just one of the properties that they have to go through in order to reach the Palmer mobile home park.
Mr. Mayor, if there's another, I mean, we've discussed this pretty detailed. We kind of know what's going on here. I motion to approve resolution 1916 as read.
Second.
Waive the rule.
And waive the prior discussion rule.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for approval of item 6G. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, nay. Requesting a motion to table item 6G.
Motion made.
I'm sorry, 6H.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion and a second to table item 6H.
And
Any
Mr. Mayor,
further-
members of council, we just wanted to do our due diligence. We were asked by the person named here. They needed some more information. And so, like I say, this is something that we make sure we do good customer service and wait until have all their questions answered.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
sounds good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion passed. Item 6I, consideration of City Council Resolution number 1918 to grant approximately a combined 5,674 square feet for a public water utility easement on Gila County, Arizona Assessor Parcel Number APN 205-20018E, which is owned by Robin Bras, and request to waive Section 2-4-10A, prior discussion rule. Shelley, can you read Resolution 1918, please?
Resolution number 1918, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Globe, Gila County, Arizona, accepting a public water utility easement from Robin Braz, parcel number 205-20018E, to the city of Globe, and authorizing the execution and recording of said resolution within Gila County, Arizona, pursuant to applicable Arizona revised statutes. Is council pleased with that reading?
Yes.
Did you talk to this one? 'Cause
I
this
have
is the-
talked to her.
And she's okay.
She's okay to move forward. I did send her the documents to look over, but I would imagine there still could be a little bit of discussion just to confirm that the legal description is where it's at, and it's outside of her fence that was wanting to find out.
Cause she was gonna be gone out of town
Correct.
during the meeting, so I would say it's safe to think that would be the table that's.
So, Mr. Mayor, members of council, to Councilman Shipley's discussion here, who is responsible for going out and getting the signatures on these documents
We are.
from the other people?
What do you mean the other people?
I mean, from the applicants, from
From the
Robin.
applicants, the property owners, we need to, yeah,
So
we
is
seek them out.
it the engineers that are working for the state, or are we the ones that are gonna go there and ask?
We are the ones that need to collect the signatures.
Okay,
From the property owners or?
From the property owners.
okay, all right.
So the resolution needs to be signed by the property owner, and the easement agreement will need to be a notarized, signature from the property owner or owners. If there's
So-
multiple owners.
So Travis, given that we've already tabled one of these, is there any downside negative to the project if we table the second one?
It just prevents them to start the construction, but we just need to have the discussion.
Vince?
Okay, Vince, jump up there.
Sorry, excuse me. We did have a pre-con meeting today with the contractor and ADQ and Kinley Horn. Their timeline, they want to start on the 11th, so I don't know when the next council meeting is. It's the 12th. So, I mean, I could tell them like a day delay, 2-day delay, but just.
But if one's gonna be delayed anyway, does it not
Right.
blow up the whole thing anyway?
Just say the whole project's gonna be delayed,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, can they like start in this one and then not?
So-
Council, if they need to restart on the 11th, couldn't we hold just a meeting beforehand, once everything's done?
So the project does start right on the Bros property.
Okay, so the alternative would be, rather than to table this, but just to stipulate that council is okay as long as the applicant has all their questions answered and has met the burden of the questions, because she's gotta sign it anyway. So if she's not gonna be happy, she's not gonna sign it. But if it turns out that when we get a hold of her, that she's good to go, although she maybe not be available, I think, I'm not sure what the advantage is of us tabling it rather than just passing it and allowing the collection of the signature to be the deciding factor.
And I would make that motion with those stipulations.
I would agree with our city manager. What we're doing here is we're accepting the easement on this property. In the end, it's going to be the owner that's going to authorize that easement. So what we're doing is we're just saying up front, if this lands, if this is accurate, if this is acceptable, so are we. But we're not mandating the property owner to do this, okay? We're just accepting it as it's read. And at the end, once all the documents are delivered, it's the property owner that makes that determination whether this easement is granted or not. So by us approving it, in my opinion, and what I know about easements, is just saying that we're good with it. As long as you're the property owner, you're the one that's gonna make this go.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, I think we now have two motions on the table, Councilman Shipley and Councilman
I
Lee.
didn't make a motion, Jesse
Oh, did you?
did.
Okay,
Jesse made a motion.
okay.
So I have a question then, if we're not gonna table I.
Well, then, if we have a motion, we should probably second the motion.
Yeah. Jesse, can you, state your motion again so we can?
My motion was for approval with the stipulations that, it moves forward so long as the property owner is in agreement and the signatures are collected.
And waive the,
And waive prior discussion.
And then, does anybody want to second that?
okay, so we have a motion second for item 6I. Any further discussion?
Mayor, if I may, so with the previous one on H, since we tabled that, I mean, it's still gonna delay the 11th, construction tentative date. So, just wanna make that known.
So do we need to pick item 8 back up?
Well, they have asked to the property owners asked to table that.
Yeah,
So-
that one was asked by the property owners, we're gonna do what they want. But I think if we can, my recommendation, if we can knock this one out and limit it to only one left, I think that would be a good thing, because I don't think, again, because of statements by the council, the property owner has full control.
And just a comment or suggestion, I don't see why we couldn't have some kind of special meeting to, once you get that we can, so we can come back and approve item H, because as we move forward to late agenda item, we're gonna have another tabled, subject that's gonna have to have approval that we should come back and do before our next council meeting anyway.
So, correct, and then if the property owner on the one that's still outstanding were to sign it without us signing it, could they go forward and we could ratify it at a later date, or would the contractor would need to have?
Just call us in and we'll do a special.
I think a special meeting would be we may have another item anyway.
Yeah, I think we're good with that. We're
I think
doing
the
a special.
the easement has to be fully executed by both.
There you go.
si-
For the-
yeah,
okay.
in order for that to happen.
And it may be a little, the signatures and get it recorded all by the 11th anyway. So I think there's gonna have a conversation with ADQ just on that tentative construction date.
Right now, we're right about to approve at least the Robin one, so,
3 of the 4.
yeah. With the stipulation that she get her questions answered.
Exactly. And I don't think we have a problem, this council doesn't have a problem with doing even a lunchtime special council meeting just to get these items approved and moving
Oh,
forward.
I love those.
Yeah.
Pizza, huh?
That said, I second Councilman Letham's.
We have a second already.
Oh, did we?
We're in
Okay.
discussion.
I missed it, I'm sorry.
So I'll call for the vote.
Yeah, thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion passed. Thank you, Travis. And we go to late agenda items, and that subject, they were not prepared with all the information they needed for approval from Historic Preservation Commission, so that's another one that could come back in a special meeting to continue
Special
that
we
one.
need. Yes. So, but for now, we're just a motion to table.
We have motion table item 7A.
I will motion to table item 7A.
Second.
Motion second to table item 7A. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Item 8 is called to the public.
We do have one.
Okay. We have James Menlo.
Who's that?
Sorry to keep you late, James.
Good job waiting.
No worries. Thank you for allowing me to take a minute of your time. As Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as public servants and responsibility to answer to the public, I appreciate what you do. You take lots of complaints all the time, I'm sure. I'm here on another side of that. I was down in Tucson with your city manager and came home late on a Friday afternoon. It was about 10 minutes before 5 o'clock. And I went and turned the water on in my house. And there was no water. I was freaking out. My wife had been traveling, was scheduled to be back Sunday evening. And you know, you want the water on for your wife.
Married.
Exactly. So I was freaking out completely, and I looked up the number for the City of Globe Water Department, made a call, and here's like 2 or 3 minutes before 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And there was a most pleasant young lady that responded, said hello. And I related what was going on. I didn't have water and I was freaking out. And she was so professional, so pleasant, and so great to work with. And I was just completely amazed. And I told her my address, 962 Linda Vista. And she assured me that she would get somebody out there that day. And so I'm like, well, maybe this is again a Friday afternoon. And I didn't get the young lady's name. Your manager or somebody will know who was on duty that Friday afternoon. But a half an hour later, 5:30 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, there was somebody out front that was making sure that my water was turned on. And I sent a message to the city manager, and I can't remember his name either, but I did relay that to your city manager. But I'm here to express appreciation and admiration and acknowledgement to the city of Globe for what a great city you are. That I can call at 2 minutes before 5 that I've got an issue, and your staff takes care of that pleasantly and professionally, and just such an easy conversation, something to get done, that I think that you get all these complaints all the time that you need to hear something good. And in our roles, it's a difficult thing to make sure we tell the story of the positive things and the good things that you do. So thank you to the City of Globe and you as the council that sets policy and sets the precedents and set the tone for what you do in the city. And that permeates throughout the entire city and throughout your staff. So thank you very much. I appreciate all that you do and appreciate the direction that you as a City Globe head are headed. There's good things in City Globe, and that has, in my time here, has been constant and continued on. So thank you, and appreciate the partnership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm gonna take city manager's privilege here to say that the lady on the phone was our number 2 in the water department, Stephanie Chidas. And then I think it was Adolfo Ortiz who came out at 5:30, our on-call person, and took care of the problem. So just so we have all the facts and credit,
They're a great
credit
work.
due.
They worked my street for about
But we, this is,
4 days.
Round of applause.
Give me a heads up.
yeah. So and this is called to the public, so we have to be careful about responding.
Oh,
So,
it sounded so good. I thought we were having open dialogue. My apologies.
you might be able to sneak it under the wire though if you.
I apologize.
So.
Okay,
And looking on the email, we have no additional call to publics, and I didn't see anything on the phone, others than something about Apple.
Nothing.
scheduling of meetings.
Cutting the taxes.
And so schedule of meetings, nothing at this time. We do have some, like I say, we're looking into the future, but nothing that we need to bring up tonight.
Okay. Future agenda items, anybody have any? I think, in the future, if we can get that reassessment of the police department, as they get their accreditation to see exactly where we stand on that would be, that'll be in the future.
Okay.
Before I call for adjournment, and I think you were gonna say something too, I think with the comments that were said, I'm really impressed with our staff, and we're really proud of all our staff that works here. It's, from the department heads and what we see with our presentation, the professionalism, impression, I'm impressed with the detailed information that we get in order to make some true decisions for ourselves. But I just want to thank our staff, our department heads, our city manager, everybody. Everybody it's amazing where we've elevated to see the professionalism and presentations that we see, and our city should be proud of that.
And customer service.
I agree.
You bet.
Good customer service.
Before we call.
Yeah, and if I can, I failed to make a comment earlier today and, at the beginning of the meeting, but, it was maybe, last weekend, I believe it was, I ran into a former council member, Mr. James Haley. Mr. Haley wanted me to make sure that I mentioned to all this mayor and council that he thought that we were doing an absolutely fabulous job. And he wanted to acknowledge all the work that this council and mayor have been doing. So Mr. Haley obviously is keeping in touch with what's going on here. So I did want to share that with everybody because he asked me to let all of you know that. So congratulations.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll call for a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you.